scrubs in. Look at the score. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
It's so bad.
But they've got like third stringers in. Nobody for Neenah on the floor has more than 3 points. I shouldn't have said scrub.
That's got to be broken.
There it is. I think I X'd out of this before, Brenda. I think I X'd out of this because I just wanted it out of the way. But I don't know how to reopen this. Like, I know how to fix it now, but whatever.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hitting edit graphic. There we go. Number 17, Neenah. 10-4, 8-3.
Colin Lutzer.
Okay. Fingers crossed. I think Tyler's fine.
And for ghost number 1, Costa Vasile.
Cross and number fingers.
And number 33,
Are you going to test out like the
Yeah, I bumped the score.
numbers and stuff?
Yeah, I'll start the clock and all that shit. Yeah, I think it's good.
Costa Vasile.
Oh crap, we might actually start on time.
It's 6:58 right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
It's
7:15
probably running
probably.
clock. Probably, yeah. Are we live right now?
Yeah. between 7:15 and 7:20.
Neenah 87, Kaukauna 39.
Yeah.
Varsity will be starting at 7:30.
7:30.
How?
Are we actually going to take 15 minutes to wait?
We're just gonna sit here for 15 minutes.
I mean, that's not the worst thing, for me at least, but it doesn't really make sense. We'll say 7:25.
I'm confused. Why are they gonna wait so long for this?
I'm just going to put it in the YouTube chat, varsity start time announced. The final score? I didn't see. It was
86.
It was 87 to 34 at
87?
one point, but that was like with 3 minutes left. So I know
I don't know what it was.
Kaukauna made a 2-pointer at one point.
Maybe Griffin will tune into our live and say what the score was.
Fair enough.
I mean, I guess this is, like, it gives us time to, like, take notes and stuff, which is nice.
That can't be right. Kaukana's averaging like 20 points more per game.
That sounds about right.
They've scored 1274 on the season. Neenah's only scored 844 in 2 less games.
I heard that, or I saw on Wii Sports that Kaukauna has scored like the 7th most points out of all the schools. I believe it. They like to shoot the 3 ball a lot.
And their defense is, well, it's worse than Neenah's. Neenah plays in more low-scoring games, I guess. So yeah, Neenah's not gonna lead many offensive categories in the FBA. I wonder if there's anything they're really good at.
all I have wrote down for Neenah is their points per game and that they've won 9 of their last 11.
I mean, they're kind of just middle of the pack in everything. 3-point percentage, they're 4th. Field goal percentage, they're 4th. Free throw percentage, they're 6th. And Kaukauna is going to have the advantage on the boards. I mean, they're going to have the advantage in every game. Neenah's 3rd in rebounding.
In conference.
Yeah. They 27 a game. Whereas Kaukauna is 35.
Does Kaukauna technically have first place in the conference
Yeah,
then, since they beat Fond du Lac?
Yeah. That's,
But would they be considered tied?
I think like if the season ended today, I think technically they both get a share of the conference title. But I'm just gonna turn this.
I find that stuff Check.
Okay.
I can pull it up on my.
Does sound come through the camera, like just by default? Or like is it?
It depends on what type of. What should the switch on there be at? Off or on? Or in or out? Wait, let me listen to the.
Okay. I mean, it says on, so I'm assuming that's right.
I'll go on YouTube. Let's see. We got 99 people watching already. That's great.
I mean, it's probably one of the top matchups in the state tonight.
Can you just run like a quick mic check on the live feed?
Okay, should I turn off the title card or?
Yeah, you can. And welcome everybody live here on this Friday night. We got some Friday Night Lights high school basketball in the FVA conference here on Zaleski Sports. Gonard Sippert, Brendan Retzloff here with you guys. This is a top 20 matchup that we have provided for you guys here on the program, and it's number 17 ranked Neenah Rockets headed into town under Lee Rubis, going up against Mike Shallow's number 7 ranked Kaukauna Galloping Ghosts right here in K-Town. And this is a rematch of a game that we saw a little more than a month ago between these two teams, and Neenah, they were able to get the best of the Ghosts in that game, and they were just barely able to escape them. And a lot of that game was given credit here to some players coming off the bench. Benji Bell had an outstanding game off the bench, but Joey Dawn, he just put on primetime Joey Dawn senior show performance in Neenah just over a month ago against these Ghosts. And partner, I will go to you here. What's it going to take for Neenah once again to take down a team in Kaukauna right now that is one of the hottest teams in the state?
You're definitely right about that. Kaukauna is on a roll as of late. Haven't lost since that nail biter, a game they should have had against Appleton North 3 weeks ago, I believe. They've been undefeated. They've gone on a couple of weeks here where they've gone 3-0, playing a couple games on Saturday. Kaukana's playing outstanding basketball, and when you look at the difference between these two teams, just get at a glance, you see that Kaukauna typically plays in more high-scoring games. They're averaging nearly 80 points per game on the year, 79.6, and they give up about 60. Neenah, meanwhile, they play in a little bit more of low-scoring dogfights. They average 60 for themselves, but they only give up about 51. And so the first time when we saw these teams play, it was 66-56. Neenah took home the victory. It was Neenah basketball. It was a defensive struggle in the first half. Neenah was up by 1, 29-28 coming into the break. And then we saw early in the second half, Caden Groff got injured, and he was vital in the first half. All of these stats essentially happened in the first half. He had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks in that game. He goes out. They had to dip a little bit deeper into their bench before Kavanaugh Wyenberg had much experience playing on varsity. He's gotten more in the month since then. But Neenah was able to pull away late with their free throw shooting. They went 10 for 13 at the line. Kaukauna, as a team, only went 3 for 16 from downtown. Not very typical of the Galloping Ghosts. As we saw last Friday, they shot the lights out from downtown against Oshkosh North. Meanwhile, in that game, Neenah was 6 for 12 from downtown, and they out-rebounded the Galloping Ghosts. They held Andrew Jensen in check. He only scored 8 points, 10 boards. So really, Neenah played their game of basketball last time out. We'll see if the Ghosts are able to knot up the season series here 1-1. Of course, Kaukauna tied for first in the FVA with Fond du Lac at 9-2, but like you pointed out, currently they have the tiebreaker over Fond du Lac. They beat them down in Fondy. So should they beat Fond du Lac here in the last game of the season, they would have a tiebreaker for the conference title. But of Neenah, of course, one of the teams Kaukauna's lost to, along with Appleton North, and they're just a game back at 8-3. Warm-ups are just about done here. We're getting ready for the national anthem and starting lineups.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to Kaukauna High School for tonight's Fox Valley Association boys basketball game between the visiting Rockets of Neenah High School and your Kaukauna Go! We are pleased to welcome as our guests tonight coaches, fans, and players from Neenah High School. Tonight's game can also be viewed for free online at ZaleskiSports.com and Postgame's YouTube page. Both schools of the WIAA require good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators at
Should I flip that switch? Should I flip that switch so they can hear better, or is that fine? Like through the camera, I mean.
face the flag as the Kaukauna VFW Electric City Post 3319 presents the colors and sing our national anthem.
Post the flags. And salute. Post the flag.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who spread stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, 2, forward, march.
So a national anthem just concluded. Starting lineups coming up here now. Presented by Revive Wellness with locations in Appleton and Oshkosh. Our IV therapy and hydration treatments are tailored to your health, beauty, fitness, and wellness goals. With over 20 years of RN experience, we deliver safe, top quality care feel revitalized with Revive Wellness.
Go ahead.
Yeah, going with Neenah's starting lineup here under head coach Lee Rubis. It's the guard, senior number 3, Mason Fleas, followed by the junior center, number 4, Roan Caper. Then it's number 5, the senior forward, Luke Young, followed by number 11, the guard, a junior, Nick Schultz, and number 14, the guard, senior, Joey Dawn.
Little bit of a different starting lineup than we saw when these teams played in Neenah. Cal Juckham currently dealing with an injury, so he's out of the starting lineup, as well as Xavier Bazaris, who is first off the bench for the Rockets. He's also out with injury, so the Neenah depth tested a little bit here tonight.
And going forward here to Kaukauna's side of the court on the home team under Mike Shallow. Their starting lineup here presented by Heartwood Homes. Are you in need of custom home build and remodeling services? Reach out to Heartwood Homes Incorporated. We offer interior home designing as well as remodeling services at the best rates. Call us at 920-850-0081 for a free estimate today. So it is the point guard number 0, the senior Brody McMullen, followed by number 1, the power forward, the senior Caden Groff, then followed by number 5, the forward junior Andrew Jensen. Then it's number 13, the point guard Jonah Rorig Jr., and followed by the senior number 25 guard Keegan Van Cowenberg. Should be a good one tonight here, partners. Settled up for a great matchup. Top 20 in the state that we have brought to you here on Zaleski Sports. It's number 17 and number 7 here in K-Town.
Caper versus Jensen on the tip. Not much of a height disparity, if any at all. Jensen was really limited in the first meeting between these two teams, and Caper was a big part of that.
And the Ghost able to win the tip. Another big part in part 1 of this series that we saw was Caden Groff. He was unstoppable in the first half of the game, but he had to leave in the second half of that one due to some cramps. Van Cowenberg from the baseline. That is his shot all year.
Yeah, if it's not a three-pointer, it's going to be from the baseline for Van Cowenberg.
A little floater up in the air, no good from Rowan Caper, and that's going to be the matchup that we'll see in this game. Caper against Jensen. Neenah held Jensen to only the 8 points in that game back in December 17th. Jensen at the bottom of the post, missed it, tipped it back into the net. He's good for 2 more. Neenah goes up top shelf here. Around the perimeter, Dawn, another big piece of this Neenah offense. Him and the bench for the Rockets were a big reason why they were able to get that 10-point win in Neenah. But this Kaukauna crazy section is making lots of noise, out of bounds, and it's turned over here on the Rockets. Jensen takes the inbound here from Groff, and the Kaukauna students must be Hawaiian night with those Hawaiian theme tees. Van Cowenberg lets it fly, and it's good. Hot start here for the senior.
Keegan picking up where he left off when we last saw him on Zaleski Sports last Friday against Oshkosh North. Also a dominant win this past Tuesday against Appleton East.
They'll let a 3 fly in. There will be a foul ensuing the shot, and it's going to be Nick Schultz going to the line. Schultz, this season, he's been pretty good shooting it from deep, just over 40% as a 3-point shooter. Now he's going to the line after the foul was called here on Jonah Rorig.
First time these teams met, Schultz actually came off the bench and provided 10 points. He's been the team's 3rd leading scorer on the season behind Luke Young and Joey Dawn.
First one couldn't go here for the junior Schultz. He gets number 2 to go. He gets one more. And these are two of the top coaches in this conference, in Lee Rubis and Mike Shallow. Plenty of wins between the two of them.
I remember in the program from the Neenah game, they said these are two of the top 3 in terms of experience, but Mike Shallow, it's not particularly close. He's in his 30th year. I believe Matt Hintz of Hortonville's in his 12th, and Rubis is in his 10th.
Just a dominant season. Rory gets called here, or a dominant career. Rory called on the travel as when he underhand tossed it over to Jensen, the whistle blew and the ball hit the bottom of the rim. It almost went through the netting. Something you don't really see in the game. Rockets with it. Dawn spinning around. Groff trying to take it away. And that was a really nice play on defense there by the Ghosts, really just to settle back up. Dawn jump stops, puts it up, and it's good. And the senior gets his night started with 2. Jensen looked like he had an opening on the pass. Instead, he hands it off here to Van Callenberg. Baseline from the other side. Left to right, baseline, no problem for Van Callenberg.
You got to think Coach Rubis is told his players coming into this one, watch the 3 from Van Callenberg, but he's getting that baseline jumper pretty open, and now they're going to have to guard him on 2 different types of shots.
Schultz goes outside, Flees. Mason Flees jump stop. And I wouldn't be surprised here if you're Neenah, you try to get a fly play open here for maybe Schultz or something. Dawn, though, he's going to take it himself through the double team for 2 more.
Yeah, Jensen brought the double team. It looked like Dawn was going to lose his balance, but somehow maintained it and got the bucket. Joey was by far the leading scorer, and a carry called on Brody McMullen. Joey was the leading scorer. It was only 4 games into the season when we were back in Neenah. Now he's about even with Luke Young. It's about a half-point difference. Very egalitarian sort of offense for the Neenah Rockets, whereas with Kaukauna, it's Van Callenberg and Jensen that are going to provide most of the scoring.
And through these last few games for the Ghosts, though, going up against, what a block there from Groff, but going up against Mosinee, and even in that game against Appleton East, they were really sharing the ball nicely, and this is how you become a top 10 team in the state. And they're going to say the ball bounced off of the back of the backboard, which counts as out of bounds off of Neenah, so Kaukauna is going to keep the ball.
Early sub here for Coach Mike Shallow, about 4 minutes into the game. Tyler Schwalbach, the freshman, in for Brody McMullen, the senior.
And McMullen this season, what a year. He has had 8.4 points a game, but he's coming off of one of his career best
I looked it up
performances.
from our last broadcast as Schwalbach takes it to the hoop. Brody McMullen on 2-pointers this year. If I remember correctly, 4 for 5. So, yeah, he's taking mostly 3-point shots on the season.
95 3-point attempts from Brody McMullen this season. A lot of them came in the early goings of these games. We did not see any shot attempt from him to begin. Dawn with a nice step back, Jay.
You got to wonder how long Joey Dawn can keep this up. He's been all the Rockets have had on the offensive end besides the free throws from Schultz. At some point, that's going to break, and they're going to have to find a second scorer.
And there's that little push out of bounds, so they're going to... I think they just said that the ball was last touched out of bounds. I don't know if they said there was a foul there. Kaukauna with a 3-point lead so far here in this one. Dawn had 17 points in that game against the Ghosts, and he's already got 6 here in this first half.
First sub of the game, James Weiland, number 1, in for the Rockets, and he gets called for a foul. And I've noticed that's sort of Weiland's game. He comes into the game and uses his fouls. In the last game between these two, he had, I think, 0 points, but 4 fouls. I saw a game against Fond du Lac earlier in the year. Didn't have many points, but he fouled out. He's an aggressive defensive player.
Van Callenberg with a few fakes, and that just really gets this Neenah defense off their toes, and you just got to do your best to keep up with one of the top shooters from downtown, and he goes from the corner, launched it, couldn't get it to go. Dawn comes up with the board.
They're not all going to fall for Keegan, and a good defensive possession there from Neenah, forcing a contested 3, and they have a chance to tie it up here.
Van Cauwenberg, a 43% three-point shooter. Dawn's going to let it go and can't get it. Rebounded here by the senior Van Cauwenberg.
Van Cauwenberg this week on WISports.net listed as a semifinalist for their Defender of the Year for seniors. You would think he would be in the shooter category, but like they said in that article, he's good at everything.
Jensen's shot rolls out, and he gets fouled in the process, and he'll go to the charity stripe, and I think they got Young on it.
First personal, 13 foul.
Young, along with Caper, is going to provide a lot of the defense on Jensen down low, but Young especially on the boards. He's tops on the team for Neenah, 7 a game. He had 10 the last time these teams played. He's at 6th in the conference.
And the fact that he only has the 7, they're going up against a lot of height in the Ghost with both Groff and Jensen, who are both averaging over 10 rebounds per game this season, both double-double players.
Yeah, I believe as of last week, Jensen was the top defensive rebounder in the FVA, and Groff was the top offensive rebounder. So they've got a threat on both sides of the ball on the glass.
3 points here in the game for Jensen. Little pick and roll action without the pass off the roll. And Schultz, he just tried to take it himself, but Neenah comes up with the board with Weiland.
Yeah, Weiland took a second there. The offense had to recombobulate.
Here's Young, dribble drive. Nice defense by the Ghost, and Groff just holding his ground. Schultz goes around the right, Jensen from behind.
What a stuff. And we got a foul on Weiland already, his second.
Rocket foul, number 1, James Weiland. Second personal.
Caper coming back in, so Young was guarding Jensen on that last possession because Caper had gone to the bench. And as well as number 25, Benji Bell, who was outstanding in the game in Neenah. He had 13 points. He was 2 for 2 from downtown, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. He was provided a really nice spark for Coach Lee Rubbis' team off the bench.
And he's a brilliant kid. I got to interview him after that game, and he's a sharp-minded player, and he takes the most of the opportunities he gets off the bench. Van Cauwenberg rises on the left side and gets it to go.
Keegan's already got 9. He's outscoring the Rockets by himself so far.
He has just been a stud this year, and especially in these last 5 games that he has played. He's averaged more than 30 points in those last 5 games that he has played. Coming off of a little bit more of a quieter meeting against Appleton East, but going back to the games like Mosinee and Oshkosh North, this guy, he was really popping off.
Another turnover for Neenah. I don't think they've gotten what they've wanted on the offensive end here, but for Coach Rubbis, they've been able to keep it within 6. I anticipate he's a lot like Coach Shallow, doesn't want to waste a timeout early.
What a find. And it's Groff with the finish.
That's the other area of Keegan Van Cauwenberg's game. He's 2nd in the FVA in assists per game, about 6 a game. Really good distributor, lead guard type.
Neenah's really got to get something going here. It's only been the Joey Dawn show thus far for the Red.
Yeah, Dawn's got 6, and he's the only guy with points from the field.
He fakes it. He takes it on the second shot, double clutched it, and he got it.
And if he can keep making shots like that, maybe he can pull him back into this game.
Only a 6-point game, so only 2 possessions, but we got plenty of game here to go in this battle here in the FVA conference. Van Cauwenberg drives baseline, taken away here by the Rockets, intercepted by Nick Schultz. Neenah goes quick, up the floor. Young bounced it in. Caper, one dribble, couple in there, right over Jensen.
Caper looked a little hesitant at first, but then eventually attacks Jensen one-on-one, and he got the best of him on that trip down the floor.
Yeah, the side that we're on is more so the Neenah side of the parents, and I saw the reactions of some of them saying, hey, just go shoot the ball right away. But Caper, he was able to get those few dribbles, and that's going to be that key matchup between him and Jensen here in this game.
Foul on Nick Schultz. Only his first, but already 6 team fouls for the Rockets. The Ghosts are one foul away from headed to the line with the single bonus, and we're not even halfway through the first half. But back on Caper versus Jensen as we see a matchup here. Jensen has so much more varsity experience.
The athleticism from the junior.
This is Caper's first year playing meaningful minutes on varsity, as he was on the roster last year but only played sparingly, whereas this is Jensen's 3rd year of varsity FVA action.
Fleas had that hesitation there, didn't take the shot, and now it's going to be Schultz off the glass, and he's got it. Nice play and nice patience from Nick Schultz there.
And a good sign for Coach Lee Rubus as players other than Joey Dawn are starting to get in on the scoring on the offensive end.
4-point game here. And Neenah this season only averaging around 60 points per game to Kaukauna's basically 80 points, which is 7th in the state. And right now Kaukauna is playing to their tempo. Jensen couldn't get it, tipped it back, and Kaukauna will keep possession.
Great effort from Jensen on the offensive glass there.
Graff, he fades off, and the hook shot is good.
Graff not quite as influential here in this first half as he was back in Neenah, but perhaps they're telling him to take it a little bit easier, as he was all over the floor in that one and eventually headed out with those cramps in the second half.
Fleas wide open in the corner. Can't get it to roll in. Front iron just off the mark. Neenah had a really good look there. They go across here, back to the top of the key. And Collinberry off that screen from Graff. And it was a nice play executed by the Ghosts. Back-to-back baskets for the senior captain, Caden Graff. And we are going to take a timeout as Neenah and Coach Lee Rubus decide to take a break here. 22-14. It's the FVA conference here on Zaleski Sports.
Friends, are you a retiree like myself and have some spare time and wanting to meet new people? I drive school bus for Cobeson Buses. I enjoy seeing many smiling faces, and I still have time for the activities I enjoy. Cobeson Buses offers a flexible schedule, and it's a well-paid part-time job. It's the perfect balance of work and play. Come join me make a difference in your community. Visit Cobeson.com for more information and to find a Cobeson terminal near you.
Selling your car to Dahl Auto is quick and easy. Bring your title and keys, and you'll have a check in as little as 30 minutes. Still owe money on your vehicle? No problem. We'll take care of it. Dahl Auto. Simple.
Welcome back, everybody, here in Kaukauna. Today's game on Zaleski Sports presented by Pagoni's Pizza. Pagoni's Pizza is your source for Chicago-style pizza with that guaranteed Sicilian taste in northeast Wisconsin. From gourmet sandwiches to daily specials and the pizza buffet. Enjoy a family-friendly, relaxing atmosphere at Pagoni's Pizza on East Ann Street here in Kaukauna.
So with the 8-point deficit out of the full timeout, we'll see Neenah on the offensive end here. A quick shot.
And nothing doing here for the Rockets. Ghosts come up with it. And Jonah Orig on the rebound. Over to Caden Graff. He's got 8 points in this game. Van Collenberg with 9. And the Ghosts, they've only taken 2 3-pointers thus far in this game, and they've gone 1 for 2.
You got to think that was a point of emphasis for Coach Rubus. Don't allow the open 3-pointers.
Jensen against Caper. He just is dominating underneath.
But, of course, being able to score inside and outside is what makes this Kaukauna team so difficult to defend, and that's why they're averaging, I believe you said it was near seventh most amount of points for any team in the state at any division as a Division I team, so that's pretty impressive.
Number 7 in the state. Impressive stuff. Graff comes up with the steal. Graff goes up to the basket. It looked like he was ready to throw it down and make this crowd go crazy.
We know he can, but Luke Young was right on his hip, and I don't think he felt comfortable going for the slam there.
With the past injuries he's faced too this season, probably a wise decision from the captain. A 26-14 lead. The Ghosts lead just keeps on building. They were up by 4 points a few minutes ago.
Yeah, a little 8-0 run here for the Ghosts, as it was 18-14, and now they've stretched it out to 12 points.
Just over 6 minutes to go here in the half. Dawn fades away, and Van Kallenberg takes it back.
Yeah, Dawn was looking to shoot there and decided last moment that he wanted to pass and just didn't have any good lanes.
McMullen left alone in the corner, rims out. A rare miss from the big-time three-point shooter.
He's got as many misses as he did last week when he was 6 for 7 against Oshkosh North.
What a day that was for Brody McMullen. Nice shot up off the glass from Mason Fleas, and that's his first bucket here tonight. Averages 5.5 points per game this season.
An interesting little wrinkle we've seen from Coach Shallow. Jensen's bringing the ball up the floor quite a bit.
Jensen open underneath, and that's an easy find from Groff over to Jensen, and Neenah really needs to find some kind of stop to that post work.
And him bringing the ball up the floor, he just initiates the offense, the give and go there with Groff. Perfectly played by the two posts for Kaukauna.
See if Neenah can try to find some kind of response. Caper off the mismatch here and tipped out of bounds by Van Kallenberg. Will stay here on this side of the floor.
There's that WIS Sports semifinalist defense from Van Kallenberg. Just taps at it. He's near the tops of the conference in terms of steals on the year.
I mean, a lot of people would think that Van Kallenberg, he's just known to let it fly, let it go from deep. And he's also got some great defensive play in him, and that's why UWGB is absolutely going to love him when he is there with the Phoenix.
I'm sure he's looking forward to playing for probably with someone who was a mentor for him, Jordan McCabe, an assistant coach on Doug Gottlieb's staff.
Obviously, McCabe, a legend to this school here in Kaukauna. Weiland had that opportunity to let it fly, and Kaukauna was daring him to take the shot. Decided not to.
We were wondering last week, as Van Kallenberg got to 9 three-pointers, I believe. We were wondering what the record was.
16-footer, no good, coming from Schultz.
And, of course, it was Jordan McCabe. We saw it out in the lobby, in the cafeteria, I should say, and I think it was 12. So Keegan was close, but really not that close to breaking the all-time single-game record for three-pointers made.
Jordan McCabe, he was just something else in those years that he spent with the Ghosts.
Yeah, the two most important, as Groff goes to the hoop here.
Jensen with the rebound, and he puts it back in. And that is what Andrew Jensen has been known for, and that's why he is one of the top prospects in the junior class.
Of course, the one stat that Van Kallenberg wants to catch up to McCabe in the most is state championships. McCabe got 2. Van Kallenberg and the Ghosts looking for their first since 2018.
Weiland left alone.
It seems like Weiland is on the offensive end. He's only out there to just distribute, and
Groff takes it away, through and finishes. And this lead for the Ghosts just keeps on chugging along and building, up by 16 at the moment. And Coach Lee Rubis, he needs to find an answer to the big fellas here for Kaukauna. It's a big-time smackdown here in K-Town. We'll be right back here on Zaleski Sports.
ZaleskiSports.com has leveled up. Go to ZaleskiSports.com and choose your favorite schools for easy navigation. From the homepage, choose your school to see team records, upcoming schedules, and past results. Use the video icon to launch the next broadcast. Use the arrow icon to watch any previous broadcast. See the full weekly schedule too. Level up at ZaleskiSports.com.
Welcome back on Zaleski Sports. Kaukauna currently doubling up the Neenah Rockets 32-16 with just over 3:20 remaining here in the first half. Inbound from Benji Bell to Joey Dawn after the break. Coach Lee Rubis using 2 of his timeouts here in the first half. Mike Shallow, in typical Mike Shallow fashion, still has all 5.
That is right. I don't even know if he's taken more than 5 timeouts in the first half of a game this season. Luke Young gets his first basket finally here in this game.
Young had 13 in the previous meeting, along with 10 rebounds, a double-double. has been held quiet, at least on the scoring front here tonight.
And another possession going up the floor for Kaukauna, where Jensen is the leader in it. This one intercepted by the Rockets and Trey White. Trey White coming off the bench. Benji Bell off the bench. James Weiland off the bench. 3 bench players right now on the court for the Rockets trying to come up with answers.
Jensen with another big-time block. We saw that a lot last week against Oshkosh North from floater range. Oshkosh North did not feel comfortable, which led them to not taking lots of 2-point shots inside.
Dawn, their leading scorer here in this game, has it. Guarded here by Schwalbach, and Schwalbach's going to get called here on the foul.
Just the second foul for Kaukauna, and we mentioned that at about the 9.5-minute mark, there were 6 fouls for Neenah. They have not committed one since, so they're not going to let Kaukauna stretch the lead too much here in the first half by letting them go to the line.
And it's been a really great strategy and idea from Coach Lee Rubbis to not foul in these situations earlier in the game, which still has helped them to not get to Kaukauna to that bonus, but they've still been giving up a lot of easy baskets down low in the post.
Yeah, it was a lot of non-shooting fouls that were being called on them. So Kaukauna doesn't have many free throws tonight, if any at all, but still they were able to rack up those 6 early fouls again, and that made Neenah play a little bit more conservatively on the defensive end.
White goes to the bench, and Van Kallenberg escapes the heavy pressure on the exterior and finds Jensen inside, throws it down with 2. What a half for Andrew Jensen. Partner, he's now at 11 points here. Well, that's in the first half, or 13 points here in this first half, and Schultz able to respond.
That's 5 more than he had in the first meeting between these two teams. So clearly, Neenah not able to defend Jensen quite as well, as Brody McMullen called for a traveling violation there as he was trying to blow by his defender.
A little bit of a disagreement there between him and the officials, and still a little bit of chirping going on, but I mainly see it through the Neenah students, so I don't know if the students saw something they didn't like. Maybe they're asking for him to get a technical foul. I don't know. Anyways, Schultz, he's got an open shot from just by the elbow, missed it, and he had a second chance, couldn't get it. Graf was left wide open down in the post. Weiland ended up blowing the coverage there on him. And great defense and protection by the Rockets. Schultz dribble drive off the left side, couldn't get it. That could have been a huge carry of momentum if he got that one to roll in.
Especially as we're closing out the first half here, under a minute to go. Neenah would like to take some momentum into the locker room. Maybe cut this to single digits.
This one last touched by the Rockets, they say. And what's just been so dominant about Kaukauna here in this first half is they've barely taken any three-pointers. And they haven't really needed them because of how dominant both the senior Graf and the junior Jensen have been.
Yeah, Keegan Van Kallenberg's gone a little bit quiet in terms of scoring. He had the early 7 or 9 points, I believe. And since then, yeah, it's been the 2 posts. Haven't had to get Rohrig or Schwalbach or McMullen involved scoring thus far either.
Trying to create some separation here on offense. Van Kallenberg finds it, and he's got a 3.
Just as I say, he'd gone quiet in the first half. He's going to possibly make Kaukauna's final basket of the opening frame, as it looks like Neenah's going to take it down to the wire here.
Yeah, 15 seconds to go here in this first half. And Kaukauna with a 15-point lead. They're going to get a 5-second violation. What a rare call that you see here in high school basketball. And now Kaukauna has the chance to up their score.
You especially don't see that when a player is dribbling. It looked like Schultz was trying to put the moves on his defender.
This one almost taken away. Van Kallenberg diving for it. And Benji Bell got the ball. But they're going to get Weiland here on a foul. Wow.
That's Weiland's third, and since it's a loose ball foul, Keegan Van Kaulenberg will get to shoot.
Yeah, and it's a bonus foul here, so Kaukauna getting an extra opportunity maybe that no one would have thought they would have gotten here.
Especially because it looked like they were about to turn the ball over there. So the turnover for Neenah plus nearly avoided turnover for Kaukauna is going to result in, you would think, 1 or 2 points here, provided that Van Kaulenberg can make the first free throw.
Lee Rubbis is going to have to make some big adjustment in the post going into the second half of this game, because the post players for the Ghosts have really just bombarded with 23 points. That's outscoring the team as a whole here for Neenah. 2 seconds to go. Young lets it fly from the logo. No good. Would have been good if it counted there, but not happening. A 38-22 lead headed into the locker room for the Galloping Ghosts. Halftime coming up here. We'll be right back here on Zaleski Sports.
More sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now. The biggest name in streaming and the biggest name in Wisconsin high school sports broadcasting are now in the same place. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today for easy viewing of your favorite high school sports. Find games by season, sport, or school, then sit back and enjoy. Download the Zaleski Sports app on Roku today.
At Ridgetop, we are your trusted, local, affordable exterior renovations expert. Isn't that right, Bo?
Exactly, especially when we are working on someone's biggest investment.
Can you give us an example, Bo?
Well, there was this house. We replaced the roofing, siding, and windows. Then, they left a 5-star review.
One of our thousands of 5-star reviews?
Exactly.
For your free, no-obligation estimate, call us today or go to ridgetopexteriors.com.
Hey, you're tuned in to Better Halves.
Skip, I love my hometown, and I want a health plan that feels the same way. So, what are your favorite local date spots?
Yeah, I know like all the date spots in Eau Claire.
Jane, I'm Steve from Security. I've lived here in Wisconsin my whole life, and that means I understand your health coverage needs better.
By the way, Doug, it's Eau Claire. I have a dozen Eclairs in my dressing room.
Welcome back here on Zaleski Sports at the half, 38-22 in favor of the Galloping Ghosts. Tonight's game is presented by Fox Valley Tool and Die. Fox Valley Tool and Die Incorporated is a precision machine shop that supplies critical machined components for a range of customers, from Fortune 100 companies to local paper mills. Contact us today. That's Fox Valley Tool and Die at 920-766-9455, 920-766-9455. Today's game also brought to you by Kaukauna. Kaukauna offers a flexible schedule and a well-paid part-time job. The perfect balance of work and play. Kaukauna Buses Limited also specializes in providing charter services to all sorts of events. Join us and make a difference. Visit Kaukauna.com. We take pride in every ride.
I've just been busy watching the kids here do their shooting around of almost like a, not a shoot around the world, but like almost like a ladder type of deal. And now they're at the half court shot. Always entertaining stuff that they do around here. Let's see if you can make one.
All right, let's give a round of applause to our two.
Still waiting for a day that and one of the kids makes that half-court shot, and I just would wonder how crazy this crowd would go and react to it. But halftime here in Kaukauna, number 7 Ghosts on top of the 17th ranked Rockets in a 38-22 game. Who would have thought that this game really would have started out like this? And a lot of this has been thanks to the post play between the forwards and power forwards for the Galloping Ghosts and Caden Groff and Andrew Jensen. A combined 23 points in this game, and I referred to it just before halftime. They have more points between the two of them than the entire Rockets team does combined, and this is where we're seeing a big difference of a height matchup that's becoming an issue for Leader Albus's team. And the question is here, Gunnar, how are the Rockets going to adjust against these two players who have been so dominant underneath and just getting it to the glass?
There's no easy answer, especially because there's two of them and they can play off of each other so well. But obviously that'll be the point of emphasis. Maybe we'll see them switch to a zone defense in the second half, try a different look, make Kaukauna work for a basket, employ a different offensive system, because right now in man-to-man, Kaukauna is getting really good looks almost every time down the floor. And for this Neenah team, I think it's just a matter of experience. Now, Groff didn't have much experience on varsity last year. He's really blossomed into a nice third scorer for this Galloping Ghost team. But Jensen, he's got 2 full years of varsity experience. He's in his third currently, whereas Neenah, for the second year in a row, they lost 4 of their starters from last year. But don't be mistaken, this is an outstanding program. They have made the last 3 state tournaments. They won it 3 years ago when the current seniors were freshmen, and they've lost in the semifinal each of the last 2 years. They were never eliminated. They were eliminated in 2021. They lost in a regional game, but they made it in 2019, and they were headed to a sectional final in 2020 before COVID hit. So 4 of the last 5 state tournaments that have actually happened, Neenah has been there, and they were well on their way to 5 out of 6 should the 2020 have happened. So it's an outstanding program. We saw the JV team earlier for Neenah just dominated the Galloping Ghosts, as well as a freshman win by 9, 57-48. The JV margin was near 50. I didn't quite catch a final score, but the JV Rockets scored about 90 points. And I was talking to their freshman coach. The freshman team for the Rockets, 11-2. JV's undefeated. That might be 14-0, 13-0, something like that. So this program is very strong, and that's how they're able to replace 4 starters every year and exceed expectations and stay at the top of the FBA when a normal program might take a down year.
And a lot of that, too, has to do with the coaching, and with the coaching that puts together and builds a culture within the program of just being successful. And we've seen it been done successfully with both of these programs, and this is why a lot of people and viewers think that the FEA conference is the best conference in the state, because you just have powerhouse type of schools that are out and about over here.
But it's certainly one of the top 3 or 4 Division I conferences in the state.
But going back to this game here, Kaukauna, they've done an outstanding job as well on defense. It's only really been Joey Dawn on the offensive side for the Rockets who's put together anything. Otherwise, we've seen a couple of 2s from 3 players, and Nick Schultz putting up 6 points on the board. But these are all very quiet performances that we've been seeing, and Kaukauna's really shut down Luke Young, the top scorer in this game here for the Rockets.
And just a reminder, Kaukauna at 9-2, tied for first with Fond du Lac, who they have a win over at the top of the FBA. Neenah right behind them at 8-3, along with Appleton North, who Neenah beat last Friday. Of course, Appleton North, one of the other team that has defeated Kaukauna on the season. They're both at 8-3. Hortonville 7-4. They've dropped 2 in a row coming into the second round of the FBA season. Oshkosh North at 5-6, Kimberly 4-7, Appleton East 3-8, Oshkosh West 2-9, Appleton West 0-11. The other big matchup tonight is Hortonville on the road at Fond du Lac. Fond du Lac won the earlier meeting in Hortonville, I believe by 30 points, but that was without one of Hortonville's best players active, Ethan Joling. So that's the matchup between the team in 5th and another team in 1st. Other matchups tonight, Oshkosh West at Appleton North, Appleton West at Kimberly, and Oshkosh North is hosting Appleton East. So by the end of tonight, one of these two teams will either have 3 losses for Kaukauna, or Neenah will be at 4. And then that Hortonville-Fondy matchup, the other big one tonight. As we're winding down the boys basketball season, 16-point lead for the Ghosts at the half. We'll take a quick 30-second commercial break here and be back with second half action.
Culligan Water delivers. From your first call, to your first sip, to your first soak. Culligan, give us a tap. The only water that comes with a van.
Halftime, under 20 seconds to go. Welcome back here on Zaleski Sports. Tonight's game is brought to you by Kingdom Roofing. Your home is your kingdom. Protect it with Kingdom Roofing. Committed to no-pressure sales and lasting value, Kingdom Roofing covers everything from roofing to siding and windows. No gimmicks, just quality you can trust. Protect your kingdom. Visit kingdomroofingwi.com.
Teacher Appreciation Night here in Kaukauna, so to all the staff who are around here, a big thank you, says all the students who are here, and even all of us here at Zaleski Sports. A big thank you here on Teacher Appreciation Night, even though athletic director Casey Smith, he is not around here today. So Casey, hopefully all is well, and if you're watching, thanks for being here in our broadcast, helping us set up our area
as well,
and everything.
As well as Joel Roush, of course. He does the games with you when I'm not here. Employed at the Kaukauna School District as well.
Yeah, huge shout out to Joel. So, Joel, you've been an awesome partner with me throughout these last 5.5 months or so, and it's just been great getting to know you. Such a great personality. Joel, he is really a guy that you can easily make friends with. So, Joel, big thank you to you. Here's McMullen from the baseline, back over to Groff. Now, one dribble, fade away. Van Callenberg just makes it look so effortless. 15 points on the day for Keegan. Timeout on the floor right away. We're going to redo things here.
Perhaps the clock hadn't started.
We got 17:05 here on the clock. There might actually be a wet spot or something on the floor.
Nobody fell.
Yeah, tough to see. And that was almost that spot where Van Callenberg had that little stop and then faded away.
Yeah, you typically only see them try to dry the floor when someone falls to the floor. You know, makes a lot of contact with their body. Some of the sweat gets on the floor. But, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. So now the inbound on the side for the Rockets.
So here we go. Rockets, second possession here. Came up empty in the first one of the half. Didn't really see much of the adjustments made. A three is launched by Schultz, and he looks back at Rorig with a little mug.
Full court pressure coming here from Neenah, trying to break into this lead, force a turnover. And again, Jensen bringing it up against Caper.
Jensen, he can handle the basketball from pretty much any area on the floor, and he can also let it fly. Van Callenberg changes field, and he just turned it around and navigated his way, and he saw the basket right there for him.
Got his defender turned about every which way and broke back to the right side of the paint.
Those moves that he's been making, like I said, he makes it look so effortless. Those are not easy things to take. An offensive foul.
It's going to be a moving screen on Luke Young.
Second personal, first team foul.
His second, the first of the half for either team.
And Luke Young, he's one of those Rockets that coach is going to need him to get going here. Being the top scorer, 13.5 points per game this season, only has 2 on the day.
Again, Jensen the one to break the press for Kaukauna. We've really seen him expand his offensive game. We saw a couple of three-pointers knocked down against Appleton North a few weeks ago. Now he's bringing the ball up the court. And you can only assume he wants to become an even better Division I basketball prospect, so he's trying to round out his game.
And Groff there, he was working on the mismatch with Mason Fleas, and that's just a really tough thing to deal with there when you're Neenah, because Flea is only being 6'1", going up against 6'5". It's just not fair, and Van Callenberg, he is just making the game of basketball seem easy.
He's got all the points for Kaukauna in the second half, 6 points for Van Callenberg to Neenah's 3.
Fleas will let it fly. He's got it.
And that could be the way that Neenah gets back into this game. They're going to have to start letting it go from deep, as time obviously not their friend with a 16-point deficit here.
And Kaukauna, we have seen this season, we mention it in almost every broadcast we do, sometimes they have troubles of closing out games and being in these situations. We saw something like that. Caper with a great block on Jensen on the great move on defense. Schultz, he gets it to go, and this is building some momentum here for the Rockets.
They've only cut 2 points into the halftime lead, but it certainly feels like the Rockets have some decent momentum right now, and they're not going to go away quietly.
Going back to the last point that I had, when Kaukauna had that 15-point lead with 9 minutes to go against Appleton North, that was really, it's a story the Ghost fans don't want to hear, but it's something that happened, and then Callenberg with the ice.
Just an incredible shooter, Keegan Van Callenberg, and he's going to kind of put rain on the parade here for Neenah, starting pretty well in the second half, but he's got 9 points.
Fleas hesitates, goes back to Caper, and I thought Fleas had a good look. Inside Caper, Jensen says no, but the officials play the just say no card to Jensen there. Can't be doing that, they say. They get him for the foul, his first of the night.
Caper to the line.
Jensen thought he had it clean. Caper gets the first one to go.
Tyler Schwalbach in for Brody McMullen. It's been the usual 6 players for Kaukauna tonight, just the one sub off the bench, Schwalbach, and he's been rotating with McMullen and Rohrig.
And only 4 players for the Ghosts have scored the basketball tonight, but that has not mattered, totaling the 47 points that they have. Their defense has just been stupendous here in this one. Van Callenberg hesitates. What a find for Groff. And one. Van Callenberg's just doing everything out there on the floor. He's making the shots. He's making the passes. He's passing them exactly where they need to go. And he is just becoming a monstrous threat right now.
And you see Coach Shallow calling Keegan over to him to let him know something about the Neenah defense. Certainly whatever adjustments the Kaukauna staff and players made from the first meeting but to this one have worked. Perhaps it's Jensen bringing the ball up the floor. They don't want Jensen to be...
Separation for Schultz, and Schultz gets the 3 to fall.
They don't want Jensen to be glued to the post because he didn't find much success there the last time out.
Kaukauna easily works their way out of the full court pressure. Jensen a spin, flush it out. It's going to be Schwalbach, the freshman, into the basket. 4 points for him tonight. Schultz, he's really been picking it up from downtown here in this second half. Shoots over 40% on the year, and I think he's the guy that Neenah really wants to get it to try to climb back here in this game. Young, kick it out. And Fleas, he walked with it. That's a tough one there for the Rockets.
And a timeout called by Coach Lee Rubbis. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We can keep it here. Tonight's game is presented by Travel Leaders Discovery. Looking for the perfect getaway and want to travel worldwide? Travel Leaders Discovery has you covered. Their local travel experts create unforgettable experiences tailored just for you. Ready to travel stress-free? Visit tltrips.com and start your adventure. Again, that's tltrips.com.
Today's game's also sponsored by Advantage Machine. We've invested in the Machine Center, machine tools, metal inventories, and our people. We offer a first-class workspace to ensure the best quality with our responsive customer service, fair pricing, and on-time delivery. Call us at 920-462-4427. That is Advantage Machine.
So the halftime deficit was 16. Kaukauna currently with an 18-point lead. And if you're the Ghost, that's all you need. You just need to keep it at what it was at halftime. Let the clock work in your favor. Keep the Rockets from cutting into the deficit.
It seems like at this point, all you need is Keegan Van Collenberg. It's not all you need is love like the song. It's all you need is Van Collenberg here in this game.
Especially on the offensive end, he's been impressive.
Another dribble drive. Jonah Rohrig puts his name on the scoreboard here in the game. Surprisingly, that's his first basket. Third on the team in average points per game with 10.5.
We saw him miss 4 games earlier in the season, and he's been a little bit quiet since coming back, except for that Appleton North game.
Young with the explosion up to the lane, and he's got it. And that is what we see out of Luke Young, the senior, all throughout especially his veteran part of his career here at Neenah. Just the explosiveness that he has getting to the rack.
Him and Schultz are the 2 players returning for this squad from the state tournament team last year with the most experience. And they've shown it in the second half here.
And we've been seeing Van Collenberg with a lot of hesitation moves that he's put on this Neenah defense, who coming out of the timeout, you can tell they've really adjusted to go tight and back to that man coverage on these guys. But Van Collenberg has a spot to go, couldn't get it.
Got a little bit of separation there as a Neenah defender was knocked down by Groff, but no moving screen.
Schultz hesitates. Dawn into the corner, nothing. There, tries to work off that screen from Caper.
As good as Nick Schultz has been in the second half, Joey Dawn held scoreless. He's still stuck on 10 points.
Dawn looking for separation. Front iron, no good. Jensen with another rebound here in this game.
That was the most surprising statistic from the first meeting. Neenah out-rebounded the Ghosts by 5.
It was wild. Front iron shot, no good. Ball rolling around everywhere.
What an effort by Schwalbach.
Up with it. The freshman over to the senior. That is some veteran play there from Tyler Schwalbach.
That's going to be one of the hardest earned assists he's ever going to have as a high school basketball player. Went to the floor from his backside, just gives it up to Groff. Groff to the hoop.
Largest lead of the night here for Kaukauna by 20. Neenah's got to come up with something. Young just can't get it. A struggle. Jensen throws it down. He took off from outside of the lane. He is just a superstar athlete in the making, Andrew Jensen.
Neenah didn't quite get back on that one. Van Collenberg saw Jensen down the floor.
Dawn lets it go. No good.
And Keegan and Andrew have quite the chemistry, having played with each other for 3 years, and of course, multiple years before that in the Kaukauna youth program.
It's been problem after problem for Neenah, but yeah, talking about Kaukauna and their chemistry, all these guys have been playing together for, the longest time. But just talking about Andrew Jensen and his talent, I wish we could show the replay of that dunk, because you don't see many high school players take off from that spot. And he was standing still when that happened, and he just waited for Dawn to drive by, and he was able to leap over almost like Donkey Kong and just throw it down. Off the foul here, no good for Van Collenberg, but he'll shoot 2.
Just thinking about how good the Ghosts have looked since that Appleton North loss, and honestly, that loss might be the best thing to happen to them this season, blowing that 15-point lead with 9 minutes to go. Since then, they've rattled off wins in, let me count it up here, if I can find the Appleton North game. There it is. They've won 6 straight since that. meeting with the Lightning.
Yeah, they've been just absolutely dominant in their last 5 matchups that they've played, and this is why they are ranked in their spot here in the state, and they keep climbing up in the rankings. Benji Bell, back iron, no good. Caper, he's able to get it off the glass, and that's something Neenah needed direly.
And of course, Neenah not at full strength. They're without Cal Juckham, a starter, and one of their top reserves, as well as the only sophomore on the team, Xavier Bazaris.
Taken away here by Weiland. Weiland trying to keep his foot down, and he just moved over with it, and that is a tough break there for the Rockets, but that's almost been the story of this one here tonight.
Too many turnovers for Neenah, and Kaukauna, for the most part, has played a clean game.
Jensen drives by. I thought he was going to try to take it himself. Instead, it's Van Cowenberg who just was able to control it somehow. He'll shoot 2 more here, and he's got 24 points here in this game. An 11-point second half already for Keegan Van Cowenberg. His career high, if you're wondering, 39 points.
Last week, correct? Or did he have 38 against Oshkosh North?
Had 37 against Oshkosh North. Last year, he had 39 against Mosinee. 32 he put up against Mosinee this past Saturday. And Caden Groff is welcome to the bench, and he gets a very friendly welcome from his teammates.
I believe that's the first time Groff has been on the bench in this game. Certainly the second half, as McMullen, Schwalbach, and Rohrig are all in right now.
And as your coach, Mike Shallow, you got to be so happy that all your starters are healthy. They are just playing at their best, and really, people could say, oh, this isn't the right time to get hot. But anytime you get hot as a team, you never know when you can lose that fire, and Kaukauna is keeping it with them.
Schwalbach's second foul, and Schultz is good from the line.
I think that's Joey Dawn.
Oh, pardon me.
At the line here.
And
they're wearing the same color uniforms, so.
And finally for Kaukauna tomorrow, they have a Saturday off. Last 2 Saturdays, they've played in lacrosse against River Falls, and then they traveled all the way to Mosinee last Saturday. So just a 2-game week for the Galloping Ghosts, and it certainly looks like they're going to go 2-0 and get their 8th win in a row. I believe I said they'd won 6 in a row. It's actually 7 after that win against Appleton East.
Van Cowenberg, just electrifying work from him in this game tonight. 28 now. Dawn drives right side. Off the contact, and he's got it to go. Neenah wanted a foul there.
And you got to think in a normal year in the FVA, Keegan Van Cowenberg would be certainly a pretty easy pick for Player of the Year, but of course he has to contend with Zay Mitchell of Oshkosh North. A little bit less team success for Zay compared to Keegan Van Cowenberg, but
Zay Mitchell's numbers he's put up this season. Van Cowenberg hits it from the left elbow, but those numbers that he's put up this year are just ridiculous and almost unheard of.
Certainly, both of them will be first team All-FVA. I think they were last year as well.
Yeah, Mitchell ended up averaging, was it 35 points a game last year? It was just crazy work. Benji Bell will let it fly. No good, and Neenah's 3-point shooting percentage in this game has really taken a plummet.
And that was after they went 6 for 12 in Neenah. Didn't shoot too many.
Schwalbach lets it go.
But when they did, they knocked them down when they were at home against the Ghosts.
Just under 6.5 minutes to go here in regulation. Dawn, he'll take it. Another 3 off the mark, and they're going to slow it down with the tempo.
And Coach Lee Rubbis with only 2 timeouts remaining. Only so many chances left to get your team to adjust.
Van Cowenberg drives, and he gets fouled. He'll shoot 2 more yet again, and Weiland is called for his 4th. Or, no, yeah, I think that was Weiland here. That's his 4th foul of the game. 1 more, and he is done for the night.
Tonight's game brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors. Just like these players bring their best to the court, Ridgetop Exteriors brings top-tier performance to your home. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com and score big with trusted, local, affordable service.
Van Kaulenberg at the free throw line tonight. He is now 6 for 7, make it 7 for 8. Keegan Van Kaulenberg is an all-around great athlete here for this Kaukauna team tonight.
As a team, that's been Kaukauna's weakest area on the offensive end this season is at the line. But tonight, certainly, they've shot it well. Keegan Van Kaulenberg mostly at the line, but a few free throws from other guys mixed in.
Jensen was looking around, finds his teammate. Here's the senior. Working with Young. Dribbles back towards Jensen now. It's going to be Rohrig. Creates that separation, taken away here by Young.
Miscommunication between Rohrig and Van Kaulenberg.
A 3-on-2, numbers for Neenah. They take it downtown, no good as Schultz. And another one misfired.
Kavanaugh Weinberg checked in for the Ghosts, where he's going to see his first action of the game as just the second player off the bench for this very tight Kaukauna squad. They don't play too many in terms of numbers, but these players have tons of experience. Jensen steps out of bounds.
The Rockets, they have been trying their best to shoot for the moon in this game, but they are falling well short of what the moon would be.
So Weinberg in, McMullen heads to the bench.
Schultz stops, back out to Bell. Now it's Dawn. He had a really impressive showing in the first half. Really quiet since then with the 4 points. Caper hands off. Bell jump stops in the lane. Now Neenah just trying to put a play together to find space. And once again, they just cannot afford a basket here in the moment.
Yeah, they can't get anything to fall. Loose ball foul there against Benji Bell, and the 7th of the half for Neenah. Headed to the line, 1-and-1, Andrew Jensen.
And with 4:36 to go and a 24-point difference, this is kind of where you're both of these teams, and you might start considering to throw those towels in and put your bench players out there on the floor. I mean, already Kaukauna has Kavanaugh Weinberg out there.
Certainly Kavanaugh has gotten good minutes recently in high-pressure games. He's been second off the bench all year. And first free throw miss there for Jensen. As a team, Kaukauna shooting about 68% on the year. Their opponents have shot better than them at around 70%. So that's something in playoff basketball especially. The Ghosts are going to need to improve their free throw shooting if they're going to want to win close games in a very difficult sectional that not includes most of the FVA, but you got Marshfield, Stevens Point, Wausau West is having a good season, as well as some of the big river schools like Eau Claire Memorial and River Falls is Division II, pardon me, but Eau Claire Memorial, as well as Superior.
And yeah, you brought up the free throw shooting for these teams, and with Kaukauna, it's been one of their weaker parts to their game. I believe they've only missed 2 free throw attempts here in the game so far, and they've taken, I want to say, 12. So things have fared off much better here for the Ghosts, and that could be a huge difference when it comes to playoff time, in a matter of closing games especially. Dawn from the baseline can't get it. Young rolls it in.
Great effort from Luke Young to grab that offensive rebound. Skied for the board, and that's one of the rare lapses on the glass we've seen from the Ghosts here tonight.
And Weinberg was exploding off of the sideline there, and he ended up drawing the contact here on Dawn.
Kavanaugh Weinberg with a chance at his first points of the night here. He's got to make the first, though, if he wants a second. That's the 8th team foul for Neenah.
A great showing of both of these audiences and crowds from both sides here tonight. I mean, the environment seemed very exciting going into this game. I know things have really died down here in the final 10 minutes of this game.
Not quite the shootout we saw last week with Oshkosh North. Of course, that one got up to 103-94, but still, Kaukauna's got to be happy with the way their boys have played here tonight.
Jensen with another block, a commendable night for him. You could almost give him a standing ovation if you're a Kaukauna. Crazy Jonah Rohrig reversed it right underneath.
Rohrig with 4 points now, and some flashy ones at that.
That was nifty from the junior. Young gets the nylon to go, and I think this is going to be the calling of
Caden Groff as well as Brody McMullen coming back in, but additionally number 12 for Kaukauna checking in. Of course, that is Taden Immel as well as, I don't remember the number. Number 3, Aiden Bikuski checking in. Full timeout called by Lee Rubbis. We'll head to a commercial here with 3:10 to go.
At Fleet Farm, we're all about your everyday, but not just any old day. Here, every day's opening day. Every day's a school day. Every day's a monster day. And every day is too short. Whatever makes your day, Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life.
From humble beginnings in 1904, the Wheatrick family has grown Grassland Dairy Products into one of the largest processors of butter in the nation. Based in Greenwood, Wisconsin, the family and its hundreds of employees continue their pursuit of providing high-quality products that can proudly be served in restaurants and homes across America.
Back here in Kaukauna, everybody, a 71-48 lead here for the Ghosts, number 7 ranked team in Division I here on Zaleski Sports with some of the bench players in. Weinberg lets it go, and pretty much all the bench players are in here at the moment. We do see Brody McMullen and Caden Groff that are in there.
In for the Ghosts, you've got Weinberg, who of course was in before the break, as well as Taden Immel, number 12, and Aiden Bikuski, number 3. And I think Neenah might have had a full line change during that timeout.
It looks like it.
You see Trey White, number 20, on the floor. I think he was in before the break.
He's been in a few times in this game. Immel lets it go. Can't get it to fall.
This is Aviv Pradhananga, number 10.
And this is White from downtown. Can't get it to go. Less than 2:30 remains here in regulation. Looking forward to both of these teams into the next games for them. Coming up for the Rockets, they'll be against Appleton East on Tuesday. That one will be in Neenah. And then for Kaukauna on Tuesday, they'll be at Hortonville. So a pretty big conference matchup coming up for the Galloping Ghosts against the Polar Bears in Hortonville.
We talk about how Mike Shallow doesn't like to use his timeouts. He just wasted a 30-second timeout just so, as Weinberg knocks down the 3, just so Tyler Schwalbach could check into the game. I've never seen that before. He lets the ref know, hey, I want the clock to stop here. Let my guy sub in. You can use my first timeout.
I think that's master comedy there from Mike Shallow. A 3 in and out from Drew Dunning. The Neenah fans were getting ready to erupt on that shot.
Drew Dunning, quite the tall player, 6'8", senior off the bench here for Neenah. And again, on the floor, you got Trey White, number 20, Pradhananga inbounding, number 10, Dunning, number 33, number 30, Carter Burns, a junior guard with the ball right now, as well as number 12, Cole Schaefer, with the ball in the post, 6'4" forward. He finishes.
So Schaefer, he's got a pair of points here off of the bench. Always good stuff to see the bench players get in there and get some scoring in.
Kavanaugh Weinberg with some nice handles there, but got himself airborne on the baseline without too much of a plan. Couldn't get a clean pass, but they do maintain possession. Under 90 seconds to go here. Kaukauna up 24. And as you said, that'll be a big matchup against Hortonville. Kaukauna was able to win the game against the Polar Bears here, but As Weinberg to the hoop, and
he tried to keep it.
I thought he traveled. It's going to be a foul. So it'll be a foul on Schaefer. But like we said earlier, when Hortonville lost to Fond du Lac by 30, they were without one of their best players, their junior Ethan Joling. He's, I believe, 4th in the conference in scoring. As Weinberg knocks down the front end of a 1-and-1. Joling back now, so he'll be in there to match up with Jensen and Groff in the post. And the Polar Bears, they were tied for first in the conference before last week, but they've dropped 2 in a row. And now they're at 4 losses and in 5th place. They're playing Fond du Lac again tonight. See if they'll stay at 4 losses and hand Fond du Lac just their 3rd, or if they'll be down to 5.
If the Polar Bears can win that one, Kaukauna will be alone in the conference at first place. Neenah currently sitting tied 3rd, but with things shaking out the way they are right now, Neenah may possibly fall behind Appleton North and fall into 4th.
You would imagine Appleton North at home against 9th place Oshkosh West tonight, unless the Wildcats can pull a big upset there on the road. Probably it'll be Appleton North alone in 3rd place with 3 losses.
Weinberg takes it to the rack, and he's adding up on his score total here in the game tonight.
Yeah, Kavanaugh is certainly looking good here in the waning minutes as he came in the game with about 5 minutes left, and he's already up to 8 points.
Yeah, final 20 seconds here of the game.
Trey White.
And guys, stay tuned for our post-game show brought to you by Bear Performance Marketing. Final 10 seconds here, and we got plenty of other coverage, live action going on, ZaleskiSports.com. And the Galloping Ghosts make it 6 straight, and they win it 78-50 over the 17th ranked Rockets. And we may very likely see this Roaring Ghost team climb their way up in these rankings. What a dominant performance in this one tonight.
We'll head to a quick break here, but in the post-game show, the Bear Performance Marketing post-game show, Brendan will have an interview with a Kaukauna player, and we'll get the post-game recap here as Kaukauna defeats Neenah by a score of 78-50 here from Kaukauna High School. Stay tuned for the Bear Performance Marketing post-game show. Bear Performance Marketing is your full-service partner for strategic success. From brand development to social media marketing and promotional solutions, we streamline your marketing for maximum results. Learn more at bearpm.com. That's BAERPM.com. We'll be back right after this here on Zaleski Sports.
Find has been based in Marshfield since 1955. And if you're in business that long, you're obviously doing many things right. We always focus on selling world-class products, backing it up with world-class customer support.
Working with Brown Fine Business Technologies has been a pleasure. We have staff on call that we can call if we ever have issues, and the printer usability has been really easy, user-friendly.
Give us a call, visit our website. We'd be happy to come in, talk to you. Maybe there's a way we can help you save some money and work more efficiently.
You're tuned in to Better Halves. Mike, what are you looking for?
Skip, I'm not getting older. I'm getting better. I still got big plans for my life and my Medicare.
I know exactly what you want from Medicare. Same as all the other guys. Me!
Hey, Mike, I'm Sheila from Security, and I'm just like you. In fact, I'm from your neighborhood, and I've got a Medicare plan that treats you like you.
Did it just get better in here?
In every department at Dahl Auto, you'll find people who've been in the industry for decades. Sales staff with a deep knowledge, not just of cars, but how to build relationships. A service team who always double checks each other's work. Dozens of people you may never meet who've been working for years to make buying and servicing a car feel fast and easy. In over 100 years at Dahl Auto, we've learned to value experience. After working with our team, you'll value our experience too. Dahl Auto, simple.
Need a game plan that delivers marketing victories? Bear Performance Marketing is your full-service partner for strategic success. offering comprehensive solutions that include brand development, social media marketing, branded products, and digital marketing. The goal is to streamline every aspect of marketing while maximizing results. With a focus on clear, transparent communication and a driven team ready to hustle, Bear Performance Marketing is your partner for marketing that outperforms the competition. Learn more at bearpm.com.
Welcome back on the Zaleski Sports Bear Performance Marketing post-game show here. Brendan down on the floor waiting to get an interview with a Kaukauna player. As we're into the post-game show here, we'll wait up on him. In the meanwhile, tonight's game is brought to you by Amped Security Solutions. Amped partners with industry leaders to keep your people and facilities safe. Enjoy peace of mind with video conferencing, access control, paging, and fire systems and data cabling. Score big with top-notch security at ampliteltech.com. That's AMPLITEL tech.com. Tonight's game also brought to you by Culligan. Culligan Water specializes in all of your water softener, drinking water, and water filtration systems. You can count on Culligan to keep your water pure and healthy with unparalleled service and convenient delivery options. Tonight's game brought to you by Mutual of Wausau. Mutual of Wausau Insurance, protecting homes, farms, and businesses since 1875. Visit mutualofwausau.com to find an agent near you. And finally, tonight's game is presented by Fleet Farm. No matter what your everyday life looks like, Fleet Farm has you covered at the best prices guaranteed. Auto, pet, bird, farm, snacks. Fleet Farm has everything you need, all at the lowest prices. And again, as we're waiting for Brendan to have our post-game highlight house interview with a Kaukauna player, no other scores in from the FVA besides our 78-50 score here, so don't have an update on what happened in Fond du Lac between the Cardinals and the Polar Bears. Of course, that's a matchup of a team that was tied for first coming into this one at 9-2, as well as 7-4 for the Hortonville Polar Bears. They were fifth. And other games, we're waiting on scores from Oshkosh West at Appleton North. Appleton North was tied with Neenah coming into tonight. If they can win, they'll pull a game ahead of Neenah in the conference standings. Appleton West is at Kimberly. That's a matchup of the 10th place team at the 7th place team. And an interesting one, Appleton East at Oshkosh North. That's a matchup of 6 and 7. Oshkosh North 1 game ahead, 6 and 8, as Oshkosh North is 2 games ahead of the Patriots with Kimberly in between them. Kaukauna ranked 7th in the Zaleski polls and Neenah 17th in the WIS Sports polls, another outlet. Kaukauna's currently 6th with Neenah 8th and Appleton North 10th. So that's 3 FVA teams in the top 10 and other teams in the same sectional as those 3. Of course, you play in your given sectional before the state tournament. You would have to meet these teams if you make it to state. Eau Claire Memorial and at 5th, just ahead of Kaukauna. They are in the same sectional with most of the FVA, except for Oshkosh North, Oshkosh West, and Fond du Lac are not in the same sectional as the rest of the FVA. Brendan's still waiting for a post-game interview here. As the final 78-50, it was at the half, a margin of 16. Kaukauna able to stretch out the lead to 28, and they get revenge for the earlier season loss in Neenah by 10 to the Rockets. So on the season, they outscore Neenah by 18, and just as it was last year, a split between these two teams in conference play. If I'm not mistaken, last year Neenah finished 2nd in conference behind Oshkosh North. Oshkosh North was 16-2. Neenah was 12-6, or pardon me, I went back 2 years. Last season, 16-2 for Oshkosh North, that was correct. Neenah at 13-5, Kaukauna at 12-6. And I believe in the meetings last year, if I'm pulling it up here quickly, just checking on the Kaukauna-Neenah all-time series, it was a 9-point win for Neenah at home, 63-54. And then Appleton North won the first matchup of the season 74-65. So 2 wins by 9 points each. They were even last year. Kaukauna with a bit of a blowout here in this one. It looks like Keegan Van Kallenberg is out of the locker room. Perhaps Brendan will get an interview with him here. And it looks like we're ready for that. We'll send it down to Brendan Retzloff with Keegan Van Kallenberg, our Highlight House player of the game.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You probably were listening to Gunnard up there as he was delivering probably some great statistics, as he always does. But we got our Highlight House player of the game, Keegan Van Kallenberg. We were up there last time for the interview. Now we're down here on the court. Just 32-point game, though, for you. I mean, it seems like you're really consistently putting up those great numbers. Like, how is that happening right now?
At practice, we're really getting pushed, and I'm getting. It's hard, but at the same time, I think our practices are harder. And I think right now I'm playing off our other guys and seeing what they're doing, and then it's making it easier for me.
And then I can tell, yeah, you guys have really been adjusting well to how the other team's been playing, especially in this one. I mean, going back to what Coach was, what was he telling you guys into the locker room with how dominant you guys were in that first half, just to keep the foot on the gas? Like, what was it he was saying?
Yeah, just keep the foot on the gas. I mean, when we played O North, they came out and kind of slapped us in the face, and we knew from that, like, okay, this is ours. We got to keep going. We got to take it. They're not going to quit.
It seemed like you guys were also playing the tempo that you wanted to play, and you really held Neenah down to a very low point in the first half of the game, and especially to get this win against this Neenah team when you guys lost them in that first go. Just tell me how it feels to have that happen.
Oh, it feels really good. Walking in the locker room, everyone was really happy, and it was a good feeling. But at the end of the day, they're a really good team, and we might face them again. So I think we got to keep playing our game, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, and coming up for you guys, you got Hortonville, which is next, and that's going to be a big conference matchup. Tied for first place for you guys right now in the conference, but you might be able to get the step ahead to see if that outcome against Fond du Lac and they beat them tonight. But what's going to be the thoughts, and how are you guys going to practice going into that one?
Oh, it's just going to be get right back to work, right where we left off, and I think we're going to be pretty special.
32-point night here, guys, for Keegan Van Kallenberg, and just consistently putting up those numbers will put you here in the Highlight House.
My name is Keegan Van Kallenberg, and I'm in the house.
Heck of a game, man. Congrats. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. There he is, the man himself, Keegan Van Kallenberg, UWGB commit, putting up a great night. 78-50, the win for the Galloping Ghosts over the Neenah Rockets. Number 7, looking to climb up in those rankings as they take down number 17. But that's going to do it for us. Here in Kaukauna, Gunnar Zippert, Brendan Retzloff, signing off. We say so long. And have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll see you next time.